Hey everyone, welcome back to another session of Growth and Becoming. I'm Sam, and today we're diving into some truly wild thoughts about what it means to be a human becoming rather than just a human being.
I love that phrasing, Sam. It implies we are constantly in flux, never static. I'm Selena, and I'm excited to look at how our internal landscape shapes the reality we see around us.
And I'm Emery. I'll be the one asking if we're actually moving mountains or just moving furniture in our living rooms. It sounds a bit mystical, doesn't it?
It definitely starts that way. Think about that famous verse from Mark 11. It says, "If you tell a mountain to throw itself into the sea and don't doubt in your heart, it'll happen." That's a heavy concept to start the day with.
It's about the absolute alignment of belief and word. When there's no gap between what you say and what you truly believe, the mountain, which could be a debt, a fear, or a habit, has to move.
But honestly, Sam, how many people actually believe they can move a literal mountain? Isn't there a danger in taking that too literally and then feeling like a failure when the mountain stays put?
Well, maybe the mountain isn't made of granite, Emery. Maybe the mountain is the fear of poverty or the fear of what people think of you. If you can move those, you've changed your whole world.
Exactly. It's about the God mind or the leader mind within you. We often rely on our socialist tendencies, trying to do everything ourselves, rather than tapping into that infinite intelligence that surrounds us.
Wait, what do you mean by socialist tendencies in this context? Are we talking politics or just self-reliance?
I think it's about the man who tries to rely only on his physical self to get everything. He forgets there's a neighbor, a community, or a higher power, whatever you want to call it. That's part of the equation.
It's the difference between pushing a boulder uphill by yourself and realizing you have the power to influence the environment so the boulder rolls where it needs to go.
Speaking of pushing things, I actually started this recording a bit late today because I had to get my basics in. Push-ups, squats, sit-ups, just right there in my apartment.
You didn't want to hit the gym, Sam. I feel like the energy of other people working out is what keeps me going. Doing 100 squats alone in a room sounds lonely.
Honestly, I hate gyms. Too many people doing weird stuff, you know? I like to keep it simple. I want to make my life easy. That's my mantra right now. Make your life easy.
That's a powerful psychological shift. Most people think growth has to be hard, painful, and complicated. But if you decide to make it easy, you remove the friction that causes you to quit.
But isn't easy the enemy of progress? No pain, no gain, right? If I just do the easy thing, I'm probably not pushing myself hard enough.
It's not about avoiding work, Emery. It's about removing the mental hurdles. If I make it easy to work out by doing it in my living room, I actually do it. If I make it hard by requiring a 20-minute drive to a gym, I might skip it.
It's about human becoming. We are choosing what we like and what we don't. Sam likes the knowledge drip and talking to people across the world. He decided to make that his life.
Exactly. I write it in all my notebooks. Make your life easy. Choose the things that make your heart race in a good way, not out of stress, but out of excitement.
I guess I can see that. But what about the word part you mentioned earlier? How does saying, "make my life easy," actually change the physical reality of a stressful job or a mounting bill?
Because there is no positive or negative in the universe, Emery. There is only matter and the words we use to describe it. We use the alphabet, these made-up little sounds, to label our experiences.
Right. If you label a challenge as a disaster, your body reacts with fear. If you label it as the next step in my evolution, your body reacts with determination. The matter hasn't changed, only the word.
So you're saying we're basically coding our own reality with the words we choose, like a programmer writing software for their own life.
Precisely. And that's why faith is so important. Faith is the belief that the code will work. Even before you see the program running, you have to believe you've received it before it shows up.
I think we should take a second to actually practice some of that stillness. You can't hear your own word if your mind is constantly screaming, right?
I'm terrible at sitting still. I always get those impulses to fidget. My leg starts bouncing, or I start thinking about what I'm going to eat for dinner.
That's actually part of the process, Emery. The instruction is to just notice those sensations and gently refrain from engaging. You don't fight the thought. You just let it fade like a background noise.
Let's try it for a moment. Just sit upright, close your eyes, and focus on the breath. When you realize your mind has wandered, which it will, just congratulate yourself for the mini awakening and come back.
Wait, congratulate myself? Usually I get annoyed when I realize I've been daydreaming during meditation.
No, the moment of realization is the meditation. That's the moment you regain control of your attention. It's a victory, not a failure.
It's about being kind to yourself. If you're harsh with your words internally, you're creating a negative environment. We need to live in abundance, and that starts with an abundance of patience for ourselves.
Okay, so we're sitting, we're breathing, we're being kind. But eventually we have to move, right? Life isn't just a meditation cushion.
That's where the evolution of transportation comes in. I was reading Napoleon Hill's Law of Success earlier, and he has this fascinating section on how humans have moved through time.
I remember that. He starts with man just walking, then being dissatisfied with that and hitching a bullock to a wagon. Then the stagecoach, the locomotive, the car, the airplane.
It's all driven by dissatisfaction, isn't it? If we were satisfied with walking, we'd still be doing it. So is dissatisfaction actually a good thing?
Hill says those two words, not satisfied, are the starting point of all advancement. A man was not satisfied with the slow pace, so his brain began to expand to find a better way.
And the key is that all these changes took place first in the minds of men. Before the airplane existed in the air, it existed as a word or a thought in someone's mind who was determined to excel the birds.
It's wild to think that in 1930, when that was written, they were amazed by cars going 75 miles an hour. Now we have rockets. But has the mind evolved as much as the machines?
That's the question, right? We've harnessed the ether to carry our words around the world in a second, just like we're doing right now with this podcast. But are we using those words to create or to destroy?
Most people are still using their ether to broadcast their fears. Fear of poverty, fear of criticism, fear of death. They have the technology of 2024, but the mindset of the man walking behind the bullock.
So how do we upgrade the mental software? If I'm stuck in a walking mindset, but I want to be flying, what's the first step?
You have to seek your own face, as the psalm says. Seek your creativity, your imagination, and your determination. I dare you to go out and create something that doesn't exist yet.
It starts with affirmations. You have to impress the power of the word into your subconscious mind. You have to tell yourself that your wealth is built on truth and justice, not just luck.
I've heard about affirmations, but they always felt a bit, fake. Like I'm lying to myself until I believe it.
Think of it more like a mission statement. I have this little book I'm writing. It's probably worth $38.5 billion in value, honestly, and it's full of these truths. I tell myself I'm happy for opportunities that make my life easy.
It's about roots, Emery. If you see your roots spreading behind your eyes, you know where you're going. You stay relaxed because you know the outcome is already set by the seeds you've planted.
So if the seed is, I am a successful worker, then the physical reality has to grow from that, even if I'm currently unemployed or struggling.
Exactly. You demand of yourself persistent, aggressive, and continuous action, but that action is fueled by the mental picture of the person you intend to be. You spend 30 minutes a day just thinking about that person.
This is what Hill calls the self-confidence formula. You map out your definite purpose for the next 5 years. You set a price on your services. You decide what you're going to give before you expect to receive.
That's a big one. Most people want the paycheck first, then they'll do the work. You're saying we have to render the service in advance?
Always. You induce others to serve you because you first serve them. It's the law of attraction, but it's grounded in actual service and value. You eliminate the hatred, the envy, and the cynicism.
Cynicism is a growth killer. If you have a negative attitude toward others, you can never truly succeed because you're poisoning your own environment. You have to believe in others so they can believe in you.
I'm starting to see how this all ties together. The easy life isn't about being lazy. It's about being so aligned with your purpose and your words that the work feels natural. It's like the human becoming just happens.
Bingo. It's all in the seed. God put the power in the seed. You just have to have the faith to plant it and the determination to let it grow without digging it up every 5 minutes to see if it's working.
And remember, the possibilities aren't actually endless. They are specific to the seed you plant. If you plant an apple seed, you get an apple tree. If you plant words of fear, you get a life of limitation.
So if I want to manifest a new career or a better relationship, I need to start by changing the alphabet I use to describe my current situation.
Yes, stop saying I'm stuck and start saying I'm in a state of flux. Stop saying this is hard and start saying I'm making my life easy. Use your imagination to see the version of you that already has it.
And do it daily. Commit it to memory. Repeat it aloud with full faith. It sounds simple, but that's the easy part that most people find too hard to actually do consistently.
It's the consistency that gets you. It's easier to complain for 10 minutes than to demand growth from yourself for 10 minutes.
But that's why we're here, right? To remind each other to stay on the path. We're all leaders of our own universes. We're all masters of the air and the roads, even if we're just sitting in our apartments doing push-ups.
I think that's a perfect place to wrap up today's knowledge drip. The abundance is already there, surrounding us like the air we breathe. We just have to stop hiding it under rocks.
I'm going to go try that meditation again, without the fidgeting this time. Or maybe I'll just congratulate myself when I do fidget. Progress, right?
That's the spirit, Emery. Thanks for joining us, everyone. Go out there, seek your face, and remember, make your life easy. Until next time, keep those thoughts wild.
Stay focused on the breath and the word. You've got this.
See you in the next one. I'm off to move some mountains, or at least some furniture. Bye.
I wanted to touch back on that idea of the God mind before we go. It's such a central part of this whole philosophy. Sam, when you talk about the God within, does that mean we're responsible for everything that happens?
In a sense, yes. Not in a way that's meant to be a burden, but in a way that's empowering. If the power is within you, then you aren't a victim of circumstance. You're the architect.
I struggle with that when things go really wrong, though. If I'm the architect, does that mean I designed the collapse too? That feels like a lot of pressure.
Think of it like the transportation evolution again. The first locomotive was crude and often broke down. It wasn't a failure of the mind, it was just a step toward the 150-member airplane. The collapse is just a prototype.
That's a great analogy. Every human being is both a criminal and a saint, a weakling and a powerhouse, depending on which part of themselves they allow to assert itself in the moment.
So we're constantly exchanging places, rich to poor, ignorant to well-informed. It's all a state of flux.
Exactly. Nothing is permanent except change. If you're in a low spot right now, that's just a temporary stage setting. You can rearrange the players and the scenery just by changing your internal script.
And the only real achievement, as Hill says, is the ability to think accurately, to see things as they are, without the fog of fear or the distortion of ego.
Accurate thinking. That sounds like it requires a lot of that stillness we talked about. You can't think accurately if you're constantly reacting to every little impulse or noise.
Right. That's why we do the sitting meditation. We're training the mind to stay on the sensations of the breath, to stay in the present moment, so we can see the matter clearly before we start labeling it with our words.
It's about being the observer of your own life. When you observe your thoughts instead of being your thoughts, you gain the power to choose which ones to keep.
I think I'm starting to get it. The alphabet is the tool, the faith is the fuel, and the easy life is the result of using them correctly.
You nailed it, Emery. It's been a journey today, from moving mountains to moving through the air. I hope this knowledge trip gave you something to chew on while you're out there living your best breath.
Don't forget to sign your name to your own formula. Commit to your own success. You deserve it.
And hey, if you see me doing squats in my living room, just mind your business. I'm making my life easy. Bye, everyone.
Haha, exactly. Take care, everyone. Stay wild. Wait, before we actually cut the feed, I have to mention one more thing from the text. Sam, you mentioned something about the truth coming through your mouth and ears, and nothing anyone can do about it.
Yeah, that's about the sovereignty of your own truth. Once you've found your creativity and your imagination, other people's criticism loses its power. It's like you're on a different frequency.
Is that why you don't care about the boos in the reviews? Because you're so locked into your own frequency?
Honestly, yeah. The reviews are just other people's alphabet. They can say whatever they want, but it doesn't change my matter. I know the value of what we're doing here.
That's the ultimate form of self-confidence. Believing in yourself so much that you cause others to believe in you, but not needing them to believe in you to keep going.
That feels like the real flying car of the mind. Total freedom from the need for external validation.
It really is. So one last time, seek your face, seek your worth, and don't forget to be determined. It's February or March or whatever month you're listening to this. It's your life, and it's a great one to live.
Make it flourish. Look at your seed and know that you were made to grow.
All right, now I'm really going. Peace out.
Bye, guys.
Goodbye!
Actually, let's talk about the legacy part for just a second more. Sam, you mentioned that a legacy only sits on the table if you create it. What does that look like on a daily basis?
It looks like the small things, Selena. It's the words you say to your neighbor, the way you handle a setback, the knowledge drips you share with the world. It's the trail of light you leave behind you.
So it's not just about building skyscrapers or making billions of dollars. A legacy can be quiet.
Absolutely. If you help one person move their mountain of fear, that's a legacy. If you live a life that's pleasing and easy because you've mastered your own mind, that's a legacy that inspires everyone who sees you.
It's about being a successful and happy worker in your chosen field of endeavor, whatever that field is. Whether you're an artist, a parent, or an engineer, your legacy is the quality of your being.
I like that. It takes the pressure off achieving and puts the focus back on becoming. It's more about the journey through the kaleidoscope than the final picture.
Exactly. The picture is always shifting anyway. You might as well enjoy the colors while they're here. Okay, I think we've officially squeezed every bit of juice out of this session.
It's been a pleasure. Let's all go out and be the best human becomings we can be today.
I'm ready. Let's do this. Catch you later.
Wild thoughts, everyone. Keep them growing. Bye.